like now, spirituality and meditation is, I had no idea was such a big part of your life. And tell me more about that, like with your work. When did you discover meditation, and when was it something that you started to bring into your life and your practice?
So it's interesting, man. It kind of correlates in between the time that I realized DJing was not going to work out for me.
Right.
And I just hit a low point, man, because I didn't know what I was going to do. I had this label. I didn't have any money. I was getting really depressed, and I made the mistake of going to see a psychiatrist instead of a psychologist, who I should have seen. And this psychiatrist prescribed me just some really shitty antidepressants that I really didn't need to be on. So they weren't working for me, and I went off them. And there was a severe withdrawal period going off these antidepressants. Just like lightning, like the feeling of lightning shooting through your brain, just like all these really, really, really uncomfortable moments. And, then I got over it, and I was still left in the same place. Like, fuck, I'm not feeling well. Like I'm feeling like something's wrong here. Like something's missing. So I was in Manhattan one day, and I just happened to be walking by the Tibet House, which is a big center for Tibetan cultural studies and meditation. And it just so happened the woman teaching there was a very famous Buddhist teacher in the West named Sharon Salzberg, who, and her kind of main focus is on what we call loving kindness or metta.
Yes.
And you know about this?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just really about extending love and safety, and the wish for yourself to be happy, and the wish for yourself to be stable, and just all these beautiful things.
Yeah.
Not only for yourself, but for the world, for people around you, for people who are difficult in your life. I've done metta for Donald Trump many times.
The triggers, things that trigger you, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And then eventually just kind of opening up to the whole world, and just like really
unpack it,
letting this flow out of you into the whole world. So that was kind of my introduction to the whole thing. And I just kind of stuck with that for a while, but I ended up getting involved in a sangha, which is just a group of like-minded meditators here in New York, and ended up going on a retreat. Then I went on another retreat.
How far back is this now?
What's that?
How far back is this? Like
12 years. 12 years.
Right. Fantastic.
12 years. So it became my daily practice. I started going on retreats 1 or 2 times a year.
Oh, good for you.
I've gone away, and these are all silent retreats.
Yeah. I've done a couple of those myself, to the Vipassana type.
Yeah. So they're Theravada and Buddhist Vipassana retreats. And
were they in the US? Were they in the US, those?
What's that?
Were they in the US, those retreats?
No, they're in Massachusetts, actually.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
They're in one of the first Vipassana centers that started in the US.
Okay.
It's called Insight Meditation Society.
Okay.
Yeah, that's been going on for years. And the longest I've done is 3 weeks. Just totally silence, just 8-9 hours of meditation every day. And I sit here at home every morning, and it's changed my life, man. It's absolutely rewired my brain.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how much power it's had in shifting my perspective, and shifting how I look at the world, and just shifting the amount of compassion and love that I have, like unconditional compassion and unconditional love for the entire world, man. It's like it's been the greatest. It's really been the greatest gift that I've ever been given, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I love it, Aaron. That's I just absolutely love meditation, and I do it myself daily, and I share the same sentiments. So it's been just
cool,
it's a constant thing. Like always learning. There's always layers. There's new discoveries, and just a whole new, just uncovering the veil all the time. It's just brilliant.
Absolutely, pulling back the veil. I mean,
that's it.
Also, we're peeling back the onion a little bit. You know, we notice we have anger, right? But then we can peel that anger back and be like, wow, this anger is actually disappointment. This anger is actually jealousy. Right. This anger is maliciousness. And like, what's behind the jealousy? What's behind the maliciousness? You can peel that onion back until you get to the core. And then when you get to the core, you can just really sit up next to it and just be like, what is this? This isn't real. This is ephemeral, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a beautiful practice, man. It's an absolutely beautiful practice. I'm glad that you do that as well, James. I didn't know that about you.
Yeah. I've been an avid meditator for a long time. I'm doing a lot of different types of meditation. Well, one now is very much sort of you could almost call it a CBT type practice with the trance-like, sort of reconditioning, sort of NLP type meditation.
Are you accomplishing that through breath work?
Well, initially there is the breath work, but also with it's a guided meditation. I follow a guy whose work I've been following for a while now, a guy called Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you've come across his work before.
I haven't, but I'd be interested in checking him out.
Yeah, it's awesome. Now you've got weekly Zoom meditations happening as well. I'd love to hear more about that. You do that on the weekly now, and
yeah, we do it every Tuesday. I don't lead, but I host. I basically ring the bell when it's over, and then I just kind of facilitate conversation. We have about 10 or 12 people.
That's great.
So I do that, and then I was supposed to go into teacher training this year.
Yeah.
Because if this music thing stops, or things get so good with it that I'm really able to delegate and just kind of take some time and just step away from it all. The only thing I want to do is be a Dharma teacher. That's really what my second goal is in life. So I've been doing I've been holding Zoom meditations on Tuesday with a group. But another interesting thing that's going on is I have one of these. It's an Oculus, the VR headset, and I'm involved in a world inside the VR headset called Alt Space. And at any given time, there's 1,000, 2,000 people in there, but there is a meditation sangha in there, and I've become a leader inside of this kind of virtual reality meditation world where like. They built this amazing world for me where it's a Tibetan Buddhist temple on top of a mountain with prayer flags.
Yo, this is great.
And then you walk inside these cloths with the wheel on them into this beautiful meditation room with the Buddha and with green Tara and white Tara on either side.
Wow.
And I stand there in front of these Buddhas, and there's 30, 40 people in the room, and I guide them all through a meditation. Like I lead the meditation, and I do that every Wednesday at 5:00.
And is this is other people joined in on this experience, like with you? There's like 30, 40 people with you in this room, or is this a design thing?
I mean, I think the rooms are capped at 40.
Oh man.
So I'm meeting.
That's next level, man.
No, it's the future. It's the future, man.
I've never heard of this before. This is fantastic.
Yeah,
wow.
it's a really interesting thing. And it was really interesting for me, James, because It came about right when I was feeling really disappointed about not being able to go into teacher training.
Right.
And so now I'm doing this without teacher training, but realizing that like just from 12 years of going on retreats and sitting weekly and listening to guided meditations, like I've got all the skills inside of me to like lead a group of 40 with no hesitation at all, with no notes, just being able to do this.
That's excellent.
But yeah, it's really the future, man. If the Oculus is only about $100, man, you should grab one and hop on sometime.
That's the device. It's called Oculus, is it?
Yeah, this is the device. It's called Oculus, and it just goes over your head like this.
It's amazing.
And it's a completely 3D world. Like you look up, you see the sky. You look over there, you see this. You look over there, you see this. You look down, you see this. It's completely immersive.
It reminds me of that 90s movie. I just watched it the other day where you're sort of going, I forget what it's called. Oh my God, with Bassett, Angela Bassett, and where
I don't
I gotta remember that. I watched it the other day where there's like complete realities and you can like put in different movies and you're going into the eyes of someone else.
Yeah. Totally. So yeah, it's been cool to be, I've been quarantined at home for 35 days now, but I really look forward to these Tuesday Zoom sits and these Wednesday meditation leads, because it really gives an extra kind of strength and stability to my practice, know?
Yeah. And so it is a daily practice as well. You spend the mornings. Do you do it before
Every
you go
day.
to bed as well? You do a little bit.
Just in the morning.
Yep.
In the morning, I do breath work and I sit for 20, 30 minutes.
Beautiful.
And it just starts me off balanced and
fantastic.
Just ready to go into day 36 of quarantine. That without any kind of like, this fucking sucks. I hate this. Like I'm here.
Yeah.
And this is what's happening, and that's all you can do.
Yeah.
Couldn't be any other way, know?
Yeah. Well, Aaron, it's been an absolute pleasure talking with you. You've really shared amazing stuff about the industry currently, and that what you're doing with your label and meditation. I thought it was fantastic, and it's what I want to do with it's just expanding a little bit more for people in the music industry and getting them to sort of get inside the minds of people who've been doing it for a while as well, and the kind of things that they do, and learning about. I mean, this sort of stuff, especially with the work that we do, that it's something you learn on the job. It's something that you learn. You don't go to school for this stuff. You don't. It's what what's driven me to create this podcast, and thank you for being a part of it. Really
you're
appreciate it.
very welcome. I think it's a great idea, James. I think getting music people on and getting them to talk about more than just music, is a really it's a really good move.
Thank you, mate. I really appreciate it.